Hey friends, family, patrons, welcome back. Girly Junk here with behind Girly Junk Creative. We're here today to finish up the Mary Poppins journal. It's been a minute. It's always busy in the middle of the month, so here I am at the end. So we're gonna add signatures in today. We're gonna sew this bad boy up. We can add a button. I don't think I was going to today, but we can. I can show you that if you need to. We need to grab one. So yeah, we're going to throw in the signatures. We're going to glue in that bag. I'm going to show you how to paint that parasol, though we are not painting today. I'm just going to kind of walk you through what to do. It's really easy. And other than that, that's it. We're going to finish this up. So let's just get into it. I'm going to sip a coffee real quick. It is Saturday morning here. Love my little cup. Okay, so what we did last time is we made this front and back cover. We created a spine, put fabric on it, put some rickrack on it, and we trimmed it all on tape. So what we have is a nice little beginnings of a journal. Is it the sturdiest? We talked about it. No, but the thicker the paper you use, the more you build up the spine or whatever. Though the spine, you got to be careful how thick you want. So mine actually ended up curving a little bit, which is always a fun technique. You know, when this is wet, you can manipulate the spine a bit and you can make a little curve if that's what you want. My original one did not. It is just a flat guy. So let's get into signatures. It's like my least favorite thing to do. I feel like by the time I get that done, I just want to be done. So I'm going to show you just a quick way I do signatures. And we're doing 2 signatures. And I don't have anything like crazy themes picked out for this book, unfortunately. I do have some more bags. I'm going to throw in some bags, as well as the one on the back. Put that aside for there. And you know, and there's like this is a folder. This will add a little bit more structure because it's thicker, so that'll be something. I think I have another one that's a little... This is, you know, it's just cardstock. I have some vintage papers. I have some dogs when they're folded in half, a little cute. Flowers. I do have this cool, that's a peacock. Can you see it? Maybe it's, yeah, there it is. There's a peacock on there. And this is some old instructions on how to, oh, it's a pheasant, my bad. It's a pheasant. And I guess this is instructions on how to make a pheasant. And then one of my favorite things to use is like really old construction paper. I don't know why, I just like the texture. Alright, so what I like to do is just fold them first, and then we're going to cut them down. Just make it easy. I don't know why this stresses me out. I think it was like trying to be perfect. I wanted like perfect. I had to get out of that mentality of perfection, needing everything to be like the edges needed to be, you know, when you junk journal, you got to break out of that. And, you know, it's good because I feel like a lot of the time that is my style, just to be junky and messy, but at the same time, there's that like perfectionist, like I want it to look a certain way, and if it's not, I get frustrated. So I think that's why signatures frustrate me, because I wish they looked a certain way, and they don't ever really do look the way I want them to do it. They don't. So I'm learning to deal with that. I'm learning to like the different sizes and textures. So if you can see what I'm doing, I'm just folding things in half and stacking them. And then what I'll do is I'll come back later and just make a mark and cut them down. And I'm learning to not care if I'm not perfect. You know what? I can't. So as I'm going, I'm working with the 2 signatures. I'm just folding, adding and stacking papers the way I think they might look neat in there. This one, I only have one, so I'm actually going to cut it down. Have a cutter. My pink cutter. I'm just going to cut it in half. And now I have 2 pieces, and they'll each get something in it. And it's going to go like this, and I'll probably cut that off. But at least somebody gets that pheasant. That one signature gets the pheasant. That's like how my mind thinks. Like, if this has it, that must have it. Okay. So I don't want to bulk them up too much, because the whole idea, too, is that you're going to add more stuff to this, right? You're going to junk it up. which I think is another reason why I get frustrated with signatures, because it's like, if I'm going to cover the pages, why do I want to put cute pages in? Like, I'm going to cover it. So then when I put cute pages in, I'm like, no, I can't cover that page. So this is the conundrum that I deal with when I make signatures, and learning to break out of that and just use it. Just use it. So here I am finishing off, you know, what I'm doing is just, again, just stacking. I'm going to fold these in half. These are bags, and I kind of like, what I like is when it's a signature and you open it, right? So you sew it in, one's a pocket, and then I like to glue something here, and it kind of becomes this flip page, see? So when you open it, it's like this, but then you can flip it one more. It's kind of neat. And then again, it's thicker, so it adds a little more structure to the book, which I like, because it's, you know, it's not a golden book that we broke up. This was a cereal box that we glued things to. So here we go. One signature ready to go. We're going to cut it down. Second signature ready to go. We're going to cut it down. So what I do to do this process, this is where y'all probably hate me, because I just put it in and make a mark and cut it. So I'm really just lining up like how I want like the bag and stuff. I want to be centered in here. So like this stuff's not going to be cut. I'm just going to. So it's kind of fits perfectly. This is so bad that I do this, y'all, but it kind of fits perfectly right there. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to hold it. And I'm going to come in here, just holding it all down. I know where my mark line is. And if it, you know, as long as it's like underneath the top line of the book, I don't really care if it's like perfect. That's what I'm learning to be, right? So I cut it down. It now fits inside my book. So I'm now going to measure the end here and what I need, and I'm going to cut that off. And this is like how stupid simple I am, and like, again, could I be more precise? I'm breaking out of that. Yes, I spend too much time trying to do that. I got frustrated trying to be perfect. Like, right now, like, all that paper just went over to the side. That's my floor trash can. That will be cleaned up when I'm done. But currently, so now we have a broken down. Look at that. Quick and easy, simple. I'm not trying to be here all day measuring signature paper. And I was doing that, and I think that was what was really frustrating. So I'm just going to bring these back in. I centered everything back to kind of where I want it. First signature done. This will fit nicely in the book. As you can see, it's not hanging out here. It's not hanging out here. Okay, there's one. Going to do the second one. And actually, I'm just going to use the first one to kind of measure the second one. No need to get back in that book. Let's just take this first signature. I kind of know where my line is. It's like right here. We're going to eyeball it. Cut it down. Do our thing. Not stressing. Too much. No crying and junk journaling. I think I said that last time. Okay. Measure. Cut. Sometimes gotta pull some stuff away. Okay. One more. Switching over to my left hand. Okay. Second signature, just want to check the height, make sure we're good there. Nope, gonna go even lower, and then this is my edge. Okay, almost there. Let's take this away. Let's do the edge. I'm going to take a little bit more off the height. should work. Let's get this back on. 1, 2. Now the first one, I had some vintage paper in it, and I had doilies. So this was fun because, you know, if you now want to wrap the edge of this outside with a doily, what you're going to get is that nice doily effect when you open up the signatures, like if there's a doily. So you'll get that. So this is the stage that if you want that kind of look, put a doily on the outside of this each signature. I'm not doing that on this one. So this would be doily time. So this is when you would do that. Okay? So 2 signatures, let's sew them in. We're not going to even like piddle around. We're just going to jump in it. So a lot of people get intimidated by this. Don't. If you're making holes and you're sewing some stuff in, you know, the one thing that I do recommend and that I've made mistakes with before, I'm going to get this out of the way, especially like with the curved edge, is you really want to make sure that when you open the book that your signature is lined up. Not just lined up looking nice on the edge, but when you're opening it, especially on the curved edge, sometimes like if it's not lined up right, it looks really kind of funny when you open it. So if I was doing, I'm doing 2 signatures a day. If I was doing 5, I would make a template so that everything was lined up better. We're doing 2. That means we're making 6 holes. I'm really not going to go stressing. So I'm just going to do a quick measure on it. I got like 6.5 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and make, we got 2 inches apart, 2 inches across. So one of the things like I said, when I put this in, I really want to line up that first line not too far off the edge. Otherwise, I feel like it looks really funny when you open it. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is really just make some marks. I'm not going to do too much measuring of anything. I'm going to find my middle line, and that's these strawberries right here. It's kind of like my middle. And I know I want a line not too far off my edge so that this looks nice when it opens. So I'm doing 2 signatures. I'm going to go ahead and make a little dot there and a little dot here. Is it perfect? No, but I know it's lined up here, so, you know, it's going to be. So then I'm going to come down. See if I can do this in front of you. Literally just eyeballing when I come down and following this line. I'm going to make another hole here and another hole here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come with my ruler and just make sure they're somewhat on a line together. Otherwise, they will look funky. So this wasn't so bad. I'm just going to adjust that a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is take my ruler. I'm going to line it right across. There's my first one. I've got some lines. Line it up. Make sure it's straight. And then add another mark. And then we go from there. So there's my first one. I don't know if you can tell. I just lined it up. Come down to your second hole. One, 2. Oh, I've got my second. So the middle's done. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's do the last one. 1, line it up with my 3 holes. This sounds crazy when I'm saying this out loud to you guys right now. I feel like I'm sounding kind of nuts. So this line was a little off, so I'm going to make sure I straighten that up. Otherwise, we would have had some really funky signatures. Alright, so there's my first hole. This middle one was off, so I'm going to make a line there, and I'm going to make a line there. Okay. I feel like that sounded really crazy. So basically what I'm doing is making 2 holes. It's probably really hard to see them because I'm using pink. But there's one here, and we have one over here. Okay? And we're going to punch with our awl holes here, here. See them? 1, 2, and all the way down the bottom we have 2 more. Okay, let's just do that now. No secret, I have a little bit of foam here. What I'm going to do is just lay my spine flat, and I'm going to find those holes, and I'm going to make a hole. See that? Right through. And I'm going to make it. This is the tool I'm using. It's an awl. Going back into that hole, just making it bigger. And I'm going to go right across and find that other hole. Popping it through. See that? So now if you can see, 1 hole, 2 hole, okay? And let's go and just do all the other ones. Stab it away from yourself. Make sure your fingers are out of the way. This is also good to, you don't want to ruin your spine, but it's good to give some flexibility. So you see 1, 2, 3. And of course, this is a great time to make sure you're lined up properly and your stuff isn't looking kooky. You know, your holes are somewhat matching. All the way down. And the more signatures, I think, again, you can do a color that blends in with your pattern. It won't show as much. You can also, if you want it to pop, make sure you are measuring a little better. And to make a template, all you're doing is cutting a piece of paper the same size and measuring the exact spots, and then using the template with either with clips, you're holding that over this and punching through your template. I'm not selling this one, so I don't think I'm like worried so much about making sure it's perfect. If I was selling this for somebody, or if this was going in a shop, I would make sure that this was way perfect. But now if you can see, let's see up close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is my front, and I really wanted to make sure that first signature was close to the edge, so when I opened it, it looked more cohesive, as opposed to if it was farther apart, you'd have this real big gap, and I think that's funky. Okay, this is the next part. All I'm going to do is come in here with my signature, lining up the edge to the holes. And I'm going to make marks where those holes are. And we're going to push the awl through these, the awl through these papers. Okay? Let me see if I can put that down a little bit here. So this is my front, this is my first signature, 3 holes. I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to mark where the holes are. Simple as that. We're not getting complicated. I'm going to open this up and find the middle. This might be a good time too if you wanted. You can put some clips on here so things aren't moving around so much. Clip, 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 clip. And what I'm going to do is we're going to take our awl. Now you can go right here where the holes are. I'm moving my paper around a little bit. That's not good. Right where that hole is, boop, where the mark that you made, make a hole. Mark, hole. Mark, hole. It's simple. Don't get freaked out about this process. It's time consuming, but it's simple. All right, we got our first holes. Let's sew this in. I'm going to use hemp string, and I think I want to use, I'm going to choose this pink here, I think. It's going to pop a little bit. This matches. I don't want it to match. I want it to stand out a little bit, so I'm going to use this one here. So this is simple too. Measure the length of the book 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and I'm just give myself a little extra just in case. And because I know I'm going to do this for another signature, this is an easy way to just cut away for the next piece and put this away and clear your space off. So got that. 2 pieces going on my string. So now I've got them both ready. Sewing time. I use, I have a couple different, this is my little, it's got a magnet, so it holds them in place, and then I actually put this on my lamp on my desk, so it's always like accessible. So this is a sharp, thin one. I'm going to use this one. It's dull on the edge. Since I have holes already, I don't really need it for poking, but what this will do is It's thick too. It's going to give a little oomph as it's going through. I'm going to thread my needle. It's also super big. No issues threading for my blind eyes. Okay, this is where, don't get freaked out by this process. We're going in the middle. We're coming in to the top. We're going back in to the middle. We're coming out the back and coming,